Good morning, Elesha. How you doing? You well?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm blessed. Always, in all ways. I can't complain. All the better for talking to you, though, because you're playing the role of Tina Turner in the musical at the Aldwych, London's West End. It's a big, big role, Elesha. Big, big role. How did you get it? How did you land it? I know you're experienced and been in the game for a while, but how did the process go? How did you find out?
Okay, wow, it was well the audition come up on one of the main sites on Spotlight, and actually my friend Joey, who's actually in the show with us now, he we was on a flight to Glasgow, and he actually pressed nudge. It's their thing called nudge on Spotlight. Anyway, he pressed it, and I was like, no, 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 because I don't know if I can do it. Blah blah blah. Anyway, he pressed nudge over the weekend, got to my agent, and then I messaged him on Monday saying, look, I don't think I can do it. You just don't worry about putting me forward for it. Anyway, they said they already put me forward for it, and I was like, okay, okay. And then I got the audition through, and then I went through to the auditions, and ended up going through to the auditions, and there was five in total. So every time I got through the first one, and then was like, okay, and then I got through the second one, I was like, okay, and then I got through the third, I was like, okay. So like, every time I was getting through, I was just like, this is crazy. So yeah, it was pretty mad process to actually get the job in the first place. And because I was actually touring as well with another show, so it was literally in between whilst I was doing the other show. So yeah, it was mad, and to actually finally get the role, there were it's kind of like no words really, because it's such a, I mean, the show is amazing in every way. Everyone in it is I'm diversion, but we'll talk about that. But yeah, just to be able to be told that I am going to be Tina was just incredible, just incredible. The show is massive, and it's especially in the London West End. It's just, yeah, best
Tina's
feeling.
live. Listen. I can see it all over your face, and I understand, man. I get it. It's a behemoth of a role, right? It's one that everybody kind of wants on their CV at some point, and then there's delivering it, right? We'll get into that. Tina, she's lived one heck of a life.
Yeah.
So much to kind of dive into, but I wonder for you personally, what aspect of her life resonates with you most? What was the bit that you liked telling, enjoyed telling, be it a challenging part or just a part that you
Yeah.
connect with?
I mean, the whole thing is the whole show is like as a roller coaster. It really is. It's like when I first watched it, I didn't know what to expect. I didn't know how it was gonna be or whatever. But when I come out of there watching the other Tina that I watched, I've seen them all now. I was blown away, like just throughout the story, and and for me, um, the whole the whole story and the whole thing about her and how it's happened, and there's the fight scenes, and it's quite harsh, and there's parts of it that it that you're like, oh, and the audience are like, oh, there's certain words that are used, I mean, it's fantastic how it's that cutting, and it's that, oh, but it's gripping. Every part of it's gripping, and for me, I think, because it's the scene by scene by scene. For me, it's all of the scenes. Like, I can really, because I'm new and I'm in there and I've just started, and it's still, I'm still growing with it, and I'm finding um uh, finding myself in the moments and in the scenes, and some of the especially the Mississippi Road, the hotel scene, Mississippi Road, where it's just me and Ike, and he's talking about his dad, and how he got badly beaten, and stuff, and how he kind of goes into his innocent self, and it's then that I'm young still, and I'm there with him, and that's what happened, so it's taking yourself back into the moments of the vulnerable, but still, you know, all these elements that come into it, and it's telling the story as true as you can. But you know, yeah, I mean, there's parts of it that I've been through, and um, that you can get that emotion across quite easily because, you know, being like a method actor and stuff, you know, that's kind of where you go to. So, you know, you got to be careful as well because these things bring up different emotions. So it's not just a turn up, do your job and go home. You're very invested in there with the emotional side of it as well. But that's what makes it so much more and so special because it is true. These people are real. You're playing real people, and what happened. And I think that's where it becomes, where the magic becomes, you know, where the magic is, because it is real. And this is a real true story. So you can really immerse yourself in it.
I know you're sharing the role with Aisha Jawando, and we spoke to her, I think it was last year or the year before. Lockdown's it's thrown me, to be honest with you. She spoke on the intensity though of the run, right? Having been involved with the production for a while,
Right.
just kind of how that takes its toll on you. And you've touched on the storyline. She also spoke about that, actually, how connecting to various different elements of the story and the journey can unearth different emotions that kind of impact on you in a way that you might not have prepared yourself for. But I do wonder, with, you know, her and the rest of the cast as a kind of reference point for you. You spoke on the fact you're new. How are you preparing yourself mentally for the run, or how have you prepared for yourself mentally for the run? It kicked off on June 29th, for those who are wondering.
Yeah, well, do you know what? I think throughout my, which is mad, I think everyone goes through certain things in their life and it prepares them for something that's going to happen. I think throughout my life, this is why I feel this role is so fitting for me, because through my life things have happened. I won't go, you know, into that, but you know, these things have happened to prepare you for things to happen, or how you prepare mentally and stuff. So for me, I'm quite good at switching off. I'm quite good at doing something and then going, right, okay, that's there. Let me move that along. That's done. Move on. But sometimes, you know, these things is, you know, it's quite hard. You know, being on tour for a long time as well, and not seeing my kids. You have to kind of have that switch off, otherwise you won't do it, and you won't go to work, and you won't earn the money. So you have to have a certain part of you that can just be like, right, no, this is it, I'm going to see them, you know, that's that. And so this is like, with this show, because it is emotionally driven as well, you know, there's light parts in it, there's fun parts in it, a lot of fun parts in it, there's lots of funny parts in it as well. The guys are amazing, and they just, on cue is so good. Everyone in the show is just top. I love it. And you know, but you do have to, I think it's a process that you can do. If you can do that, it's better to be able to switch and push that aside than kind of keeping it on you throughout, you know, because it's, you know, I'm on stage and I'm crying, I'm upset, I'm in that moment, you know. So yeah, but I don't find it hard to, right, okay, that's done.
You're able to compartmentalize, right?
That's the word. Do you know how many times I try to figure out what that word is? That's the word. But yeah.
As far as musicals go, and this is a bona fide musical, right? This is not a play with music, is it? Right? As far as they go, have you done many? And how does this compare, if it does at all? Is it not? Have you not done? Is this a brand new experience?
No, so this is my first musical, West End. I've never auditioned for West End. I auditioned for this show and I got this show. And I was like, wow, that's why still for me, I don't, it's still it's still not, I'm still in a dream, because, you know, I self-taught. I with everything that I did, I've self-taught. When I was 8 years old, I started singing in my bedroom. I taught myself to sing, I taught myself to dance, taught myself everything. I taught myself, and it's just through my determination and willing and knowing and drive, yeah, that I you know, got this role. But yeah, that for me, you know, the director, MD and choreographer and the producers behind it. I thank you very much for, yeah, just giving me the opportunity, because, you know, it's hard, you know, out there. And the show that I was in before was a touring show. It wasn't anything like this. It was just singing literally 24 songs as a concert, Whitney and Tina. That's what it was. And so this is completely different. It's completely different setup. You know, I'm in one place. You know, it's a totally different vibe, and I'm working with a lot of people on stage, and I'm talking to a lot of people on stage, and singing to a lot of people on stage. So it's great. It's like, yeah, it's a perfect mixture of singing and dancing and acting. It's really great.
I'm really want to get into the fact that this is a breakthrough moment for you, man. I'm listening to your journey, self-determined, self-driven, and here, 2022, right? I'll let you say how many years later. This is a breakthrough. This is growth. This is like, you know, if the next X amount of years look like this, I mean, where are you going? Where are you heading? What type of things are you hoping to achieve?
Do you know, do you know what I love to say? But I'd love to be 007. I'd love to be the female 007. For me, I'd love that.
Yes, talk
But
it. Why
yeah,
not?
yeah, that's what I love that. I love it. So you know, everything that I try, you know, I try my best to do. And you know, sometimes it's hard to stay on that track and keep positive all the time. And sometimes you do slip, and that's okay to do that. And the other day I was like, oh, you know, I was tired, you know, I was thinking what, and I got myself back on track. I'm back in with the guys at work, Joshua, he's gonna set me up a plan. I want to get ripped. Come on. I'm planning for the future, doing, you know, there's lots of things that I want to do. But yeah, it's been a long time, and you know, 26 years, I think, that I've non-stopped. I've carried on, I've worked, I've had my children, I've still, you know, I was a week, even, you know, with Teddy, my youngest, she's 4, she's gonna be 5 in next month. And I was singing a week up to her giving birth. And then I went back to work 3 weeks later. You know, it's grinding. I'm grinding. I'm trying. But yeah, from doing tribute acts for myself, driving myself up north, here, there, everywhere, loading speakers in pubs, clubs, all of that, done it. Every shop you can think of, I've worked in. I've done it. And yeah, to you know, to be here. And it was only lockdown, you know, when that happened, and I was, you know, all the theatres were shut. I worked in the theatre because we did the touring show, but it was just like, but it wasn't the West End. It's a completely different ball game. But we stopped, so I was thought, well, how am I gonna, you know, I still need to work, and the only thing that was happening was like, especially the like Asda's, Tesco's and stuff. So I got myself a job in Asda, and did a delivery driver. So I absolutely loved it, and I've worked in Tesco's, all them places I've done, but I've always loved it, and you know, and I did a delivery driver through lockdown, up through Christmas period, and you know, it was hard in the sense of, it wasn't hard the job, because I loved the job and I loved being physical and I loved meeting people and stuff. But it was quite sad to see that, you know, people hadn't been out of their houses, or you know, it was nice to be able to talk to these people that hadn't spoken to anyone for weeks, or had anyone or any, you know. So for me, that was such a, I'm so glad that I got that job and they let me have the job. You know, because yeah, it was just, we all have to make ends meet. So
Of course,
you
of
know, so
course.
yeah, but yeah, and then coming back out of lockdown and made me think about moving into different avenues and acting and stuff like that. So again, through lockdown, I taught myself back with the acting scene stuff. I was with Jack Ryder, who I was doing lots of acting work with him online. So yeah, I again taught myself with the acting, everything. I did self tapes. You know, I was trying to push myself as much as I could to be able to change what I was doing to not be in that position again, because I knew that the filming was still happening. I wasn't on Spotlight. I didn't have an agent. And so I in my head, I spoke it out, as we do. You have to speak these things out. And I managed to get on Spotlight. And I was like, okay. And I was also doing Screen Combat as well, which was outside. So that was throughout lockdown. So I tried to build up my profile. I did some screens, showreel screens as well, to get everything out there. And then I found my agent, which was amazing. I applied for 6, and the one that I wanted, I got. DNA management. They're absolutely fantastic. I got them, and a month later I got the audition for Tina. So you just got to keep, pushing it out there and keep going. I think when people think, oh, I've been doing this for a year, and I haven't got nowhere. Yeah, but you've got to keep going. You just got to keep going, because maybe that time right then wasn't for you that time, but maybe in 5 years' time, that's when your time is. But you just got to keep going until that time. And my time is just about 26 years, even though everything throughout my life, I've had so, brilliant, like doing the X Factor, doing The Voice and doing that. And there's lots of things where I've been said, no. And you think, oh, come on. But you think, no, come on. I know I'm worth it. I know I'm good. I know I can do it. And you just got to keep going, because one day it will pay off. And look, it's mad, because it's self-taught, and I'm in the West End and I'm Tina. You didn't do too well at school. Not saying not to do too well at school. Always must do well at school. But it's,
How many children you got, Elesha?
2.
I so many points in that story. I'll come out in goosebumps, because I love when people push through against the odds. I love stories like yours. You know what I mean? Because it reminds me, but first, and those hopefully who watch, that we don't know what's coming. But we have to believe in ourselves. I mean, that's like the foundation. Have to believe in yourselves and your ability to do. I spoke to Lashana Lynch, right? When she was, doing the whole James Bond run. And I got the same sense. I come out in goosebumps with her as well, right? Like, it's literally the same energy. Go back and watch her interviews. It's online. And I think she's well placed to, really go on and do well in that franchise. But you might be offering some type of competition. I don't like to pit my sisters against each other or anything like that. If you're watching the James Bond franchise, like you heard her say it, she's looking at Bond. She's lived a life that I think has prepared her for it. Good luck, man, with everything that you're going to do moving forward. Listen, so many people are going to come to Tina expecting to kind of see what they expect to see of her life. Can you surmise, how the story's delivered and what people who haven't come to see the musical can expect?
Okay. In a bubble, it would be like a fairground. If you could have a bubble and you could see, that's what it'd probably look like, a fairground of scary rides, fun rides, soft rides. That's how it would be. And you come out of it, walk out the gates going, wow, that was insane. That was mad. Because you've just got from her as a child, from 8 years old all the way through to 40, 41, 42, when she finally got, she got there. And it's through her whole life, not her whole life, but the life that we see and what happens and stuff. And and every single person on that stage is incredible. I love it. It's like these guys, 8 shows a week, they are hardcore, and they work it, and they're amazing. Every person on that stage, and they tell it truthfully, and it's really, really, really good. The costume, like even backstage, from the wigs, the costumes, the MDs, the choreographers, the directors, everyone, the management, the stage, lighting, sound, everyone is working so hard for that show, and it shows as well. It really does show when you watch it, and I urge you and I encourage you to come and see this show because you're gonna love it. Because we love performing for you guys.
Have you enjoyed rehearsals then? I mean, obviously that must have been like a baptism of fire, really, when you landed and looked around and everybody was kind of organized. And I know it's like a family, right? There's a lot of people that have been invested in this for a long time. So what was that like?
It is, but there was a lot of new people, so quite a few of us are new, and I've not been in that environment before. Yeah, so for me, I was like ooh, because I'm not from that world. So yeah, I don't know how they took to me, but
anything go on BTS behind the scenes that you want to share with us?
Do you know what? This crew is cool. It's a good team. It's a really good team. There's always some because it's highly driven and highly emotionalized. These emotions fly around. But I tell you though that this building, it is very magical. Or I don't know whether it's just me or when I say something in this building, it happens. So and everyone's like, "Why don't you say about the lottery?" And I'm like, "No, but I don't want to win the lottery because if I win the lottery, then I have everything, and I like to work. I like to. Otherwise, there'd be nothing to work for, nothing to live for, So, I'm not saying anything in that building about lottery, but it's
you can say it and then give me the money.
Okay, let's do that. We'll come up with a deal. High five. But yeah, it's good. The cast is brilliant, and I love working with them. I love being on stage with them. I do.
Well, listen, I hope the run, I hope your involvement in the run, goes on and on and on as long as you want it to, and fans take to you in the way that I expect them to. I mean, is there anything else that you want to share about, the journey, the production, before we kind of wrap this up? Because I was going to dig down into the fact that you've been mentored by Matthew Knowles, you worked with will.i.am, and I was going to dig down into that, but I really want the focus to be about Tina, and the next time we speak, I'm going in on you, right? Don't think I won't, because I want to know the journey. I always kind of bear in mind that there's a young audience watching, right, who are watching you, who are going to say, wait, hold on, she's done it, and she did it in an unconventional way, yeah? There are no rules, right? You determine. And that's kind of, if you put yourself in the space, you allow the universe to do the rest, right? Exactly. So my thing is, we'll get into all that other stuff another time. But in terms of, the production moving forward, is there anything else you want to share with us?
About the show or about
anything.
About this? I'm blessed and to be given this opportunity, and I thank the Tina team and everyone else that's around me, and that's involved, and you for having me on here today. And yeah, I mean, I get choked up and I get thinking about speaking because I'm just so happy that I'm in this position, but also I put myself in this position. I mean, that's what you got to do. You got to put yourself out there, in there, and with them, and let people see you. Don't let anyone say to you, "Oh, don't start posting up. Don't start posting this." One thing I will say is this is how it does happen, because when I was just go back into the Asda, I posted a picture of myself in the Asda van with the green top on, and I said, "I love in this green top. I want one," and I tagged Asda in it. And when I wanted to have some acting experience, the next day, my work called me from Asda and said, "Do you want to be in the Christmas advert?" Yes, please. And it was literally like that. And I asked for acting experience. I wanted to be on set. I wanted to see what it was like. And the next day I got to go, and I was on the Christmas advert. You only see my eyes because it was the mask then, but I got to watch it the whole day. So please, anyone, you just have to speak it out, believe in yourself. Do not let anyone tell you that you can't, because you can. And that's what you need to believe in you, that you can do it, and you will get it.
Ask, believe, receive, right?
That's it.
Okay. Well, listen, you've manifested a whole heap. I'm about to share this interview far and wide. Before I leave, you know, you manifesting those top notes. You hitting them top notes in the show.
Like, yeah. What 11? What's time? What you want me to do it now?
You want to show off, girl?
What? Okay, hang on. What song? What song? Hang on. I don't know if it's gonna come out.
Give me your strongest one.
Oh, what about maybe Nutbush, because I'm a bit raw now. So that might be. Do a little bit from Nutbush?
Go for it.
All right. Church house, gin house, schoolhouse, outhouse. I said highway going at 19, and now people give a city clean. They call it Nutbush. Ooh, oh, Nutbush. They call it Nutbush City Limits. Nutbush City.
Oh, hey, listen. Oh, hey, for those who ain't got their tickets, go and grab them now, man. Alicia's out here doing her thing. Like, I'm really happy to have spoken to you this morning. I know there's been a few bumps in the road making this happen, but that's because you're so busy, right? And I appreciate you for fitting me in. Do you know what I mean? Because I can only imagine the days off or the downtime. You really need to kind of step away, relax, and get your mind right. So good luck with everything moving forward. Really appreciate you, Aisha.
Oh, I appreciate you.
Yeah, man, we'll speak soon, all right?
Yeah, it was lovely. Thank you so much.